Good morning, students. This is the video of class 9 subject biology. In the previous video, we had talked about the permanent tissue. We had started our permanent tissue. So, in the permanent tissue, we had completed the simple permanent tissue. That is, we had read about the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. In the parenchyma, we had seen that it helps in storage. This collenchyma help, that means in the flexibility, and this one, that means the sclerenchyma, it just protect, that means from the outside, that means it's make it the hard. So these all are the functions of the three things, the permanent simple permanent tissue. So today we will read about the complex permanent tissue. So complex permanent tissue is that means the components are just two. First thing is xylem and second is phloem. So we will read about this too. So what is xylem, what is phloem, just we will see in the next image. First thing, if we talk about the simple thing about the complex tissue. See, complex tissue consists of more than one type of cells which work together as a unit. That means, if in the simple what we had talked, that means one type of tissue make that performing some functions. So that was simple. But in the complex one, more than one type of tissue, if they are performing in one place, if they are performing one function, so it is known as complex tissue. Complex tissue help in the transportation of organic material, water, minerals up and down the plant. That means mainly the function of the complex permanent tissue is the transportation. What is the function? That is the mainly the function of the function is transportation of the material. Either it is that means mineral, either it is water, either it is food, anything. That means transportation. Full thing is just upon the complex permanent tissue. So here the full transportation system is just under the xylem and the phloem. So it is also known as the vascular tissue. That means it is the conducting tissue, the one who conduct, that means one who transport the material from the other. It is known as vascular tissue as well as the conducting tissue. So we had got these things from here. That is the we are having two things. First thing is xylem, second thing is phloem. So let's talk about the xylem first. If we see the xylem tissue, the main function of the xylem tissue is to conduct the water. Conduct the water means the transportation of water. That means the function of the xylem tissue is mainly to conduct water. That means to transport the water to each and every part of the cells. So let's see what is written over here. Function: transport of water and mineral salts. That means from the root, and they just after the root they give it to the stem. The stem again it will divide into leaves. So the transportation of mineral and water, that this is the function of the xylem tissue. Now, in the other point, one main thing is written unidirectional. What is meant by unidirectional? Unidirectional means the movement of something in just only one direction. That means if this is a road, okay. If I am telling unidirectional means if somebody is moving from here, he will just move in this direction only. If I would have been called that bidirectional, that means he can move in this way also. So this is called bidirectional. So unidirectional means that means they will not backflow. They will not flow backward. They will just move in the, that means in one direction. So this is called unidirection. Third point is written composed of hollow non-living cells. So the xylem tissue is mainly composed of non-living cells. One more thing is given over here. They provide mechanical support to plant because of the lignified walls. So if it is made up of non-living cells, that means they are dead. If it is the dead cells are present, so dead cells provide the mechanical support to the plant. So they are also having the lignified walls, the rigid wall. So they just provide the mechanical support. So if we further see the components of xylem, so xylem is having four component. First thing is trachea. They are having trachea. Second thing, they are having vessels. Third, parenchyma, xylem parenchyma. Fourth thing, they are having xylem fiber. Okay, so these are the four components that they just help in the conduction of the water and the minerals. So let's see what the things are over here. So I have told you all the four things: trachea, vessels, parenchyma, and fiber. So this is the diagram of the xylem tissue, how xylem conduct the water. So this is the slice of a, that means we can say the stem, or we can say the bark part. So no, sorry, not the bark part, but the stem part. Okay. So what see here, trachea is over here. First thing what I told you all, the trachea. This one that means in the mid section there is a trachea present. So this is the that means ultrastructure of the trachea. So in the trachea there are pits present. So what is pits? Pits are just having end walls, and that means we can say na pore like structure is the pits. So what is the function of the trachea? Actually the trachea are non-living and elongated. So they are having, that means just like this they will have the structure. That means they are having the pointed end, and they are having the a special type of cell that is called the lignin cell wall. So they conduct the water and dissolve the minerals over here in the trachea part. So if we see the second part, that is the vessels, they are just cylinder type. So this one is the vessel. So they are having cylinder type. That means one type of tube like structure, and they are placed one that means one upon the other. If this is the one tube, if this is the one tube, the other tube is starting from here, so it is one upon the other. So what this xylem vessels, it also help in the conduction of water and dissolve the minerals. That means we can say it is a continuous channel. That means you can imagine that it is just a pipe system. The third thing, parenchyma. As I had already told you all that the function of parenchyma is to store. So they will store the water and further they will conduct it. So simply xylem parenchyma is having the function of the storage. They just store. And the fiber, the lastly fiber is not shown over here, but the function of the fiber is to provide the mechanical support to the plant. So we have completed our xylem part over here. Now let's see to the phloem part. I hope you all have understand the xylem part. Now phloem over here. Now what is phloem? Let's discuss first. Actually just like xylem was conducting water, just like that phloem conduct food. That means the transportation of food is done by the phloem. This is very simple. So in the that means xylem part, we had seen that it was unidirectional. That means it was just moving in one direction, but in the case of phloem it is bidirectional. Just like if this is the leaf, okay, if this is the leaf, if this thing has made food. So maybe it will conduct in this, that means in this position also and in this side also. That means this is called the bidirectional. They can move to the upside also, they can move to the downside also. So we have got the answer from here that it is a vascular tissue that conduct the food in the plant. So we can say we have here that it is made up of, that means combination of cells, living cells as well as the non-living cells. So just like xylem, the phloem is also having some component. First thing is the Scheib tubes. So this one is the number one. Scheib tubes is the first component, or you can say element of the phloem. Second element is the companion cell. First thing Scheib tube, second companion cell. Third is the phloem parenchyma. So they are again having the parenchyma cells, and the last one they are having the phloem fiber. So phloem fiber is not shown over here. So first let's discuss about the Scheib tubes. So this is the conducting, we can say conducting tubes. See, if we see the Scheib tubes, so just like this, it is, the diagram is given over here, and this one over here also Scheib tubes are here. Just you can see one tube is here, other tube is here. Okay, so the function of Scheib tube is to, that means pass the food material easily. That means one pipe is over here, one pipe is over here, so from here they will pass the food to the other pipe. This is the function of the Scheib tubes. Now companion cell. If we talk about the companion cell, we can say that this is associated with the Scheib tubes. So that means we can say this is the helper of the Scheib tubes. So they just conduct the, again we can say they conduct the food for the plant. The third thing, that is the parenchyma. What is the function of the parenchyma? As we already know that parenchyma store the food material, and in the xylem fiber they are, we can say they are dead, they are having the dead cell, they are having the lignified cell wall, and they provide the mechanical strength to the plant. So we have completed our complex permanent tissue over here, the xylem and the phloem. Simply xylem conduct the water and phloem conduct the food for the plant.